Welcome to our podcast as we come back for another episode. And today's episode is about internal love. Internal love, it's hard to describe, but then again, it's not really hard to describe. It's something it's more or less action based. It's something that no matter what, it's going to be with you at all times. Recently, I was reading this story. My wife and I were reading this story, and it was about this lady at work, and she received this beautiful flower bouquet. In this flower bouquet, she received 11 flowers, and her husband wrote her a short little note. And it was written very nicely, and he wrote it to her, and it said, "My love for you will last until the day the last flower in this bouquet dies." And so he wrote her this note, and he gave her these flowers on a day that he was about to go on a business trip. He was about to go on a business trip, and so I guess this was part of his job, part of the things that he had to do. So he went on his business trip, and then each day she noticed the flowers. She noticed the flowers were wilting a little bit. She took care of them. She took really good care of them. She put them in water. She put them in certain, they had to give you those little packets to put in the water. But every day, one day after another, the flowers began to die. They all died except one flower. And then she looked at the flowers very carefully. She looked at them very carefully, and she was wondering what's going on. And then she realized that the last flower that didn't die, it was an artificial flower. It was an artificial flower. So she knew her husband or somehow or another put an artificial flower in there because their love for each other would never die with this artificial flower that, it just can't die. And I was just looking at that story, and I was just thinking about how there's, the days go on, and sometimes the love we have for someone is so strong. But sometimes it's very hard. It's very hard to, as we get busy. I know the schedules that my wife and I we have. It's just pretty chaotic when you're both at work at the same hours, and then you do a little extra after work, and you just don't have time to every day to stare at each other, look at each other, look around, and just have time. And I was going somewhere. I think I was at Starbucks, and I was, as usual, we were all in a rush. I remember my wife and I, when we first started dating, that was one of the first places we went to, was a Starbucks. And we used to sit there at Starbucks and just sit there and look at each other and talk about our dreams, talk about our hopes, talk about things we wanted in the future. But now that as we've been married for a while, we're trying to do the same things on Saturday mornings. We found a new coffee shop we like to go to, and I like to go in and sit and talk and eat a pastry and just sit there. We're teaching our son to be a little bit more patient on Saturday with us, and as long as he has his pastry and he has his water, he's fine. But just slowing down the week a little bit on Saturday, we're trying to slow the week down. And then we're trying to also, I notice when we're trying to slow things down, I noticed when we were at the Starbucks, we didn't really care about what else was going on around us. We just had a good time there. We made the best of it. And we would make time to meet at Starbucks. We would make time to do things together. As you get married, we're responsible for a mortgage. We're responsible for raising our child. You have all these responsibilities, and sometimes the love for each other gets pushed aside, and you just hanging out. You just one person's there, and so you have to find time, and the time that you have has to be quality time. You have to put quality time in, and that's something that we're all working at. I'm working at it. It's not easy because we think that what we're doing right now is the most important thing. But the most important thing is the person that's that started off with you at that Starbucks and sitting there and talking to them. And during the week, it's just very hard for us to get together and sit and talk. And because be honest with you, we're just dead tired. We're just dead tired of the whole week, and we just want to relax. But with a child that is very loving and very caring, he knows on Saturday it's all about him. And so on Saturday he knows that we have, it's all about him on Saturdays. So we have to find time to really find time just to sit and talk. And so a lot of times, another thing that we do is we'll take him to the park, and they always have these little benches around the little play area. And we'll just sit on the bench and we'll just watch him play. But we'll be talking. And sometimes we were lucky enough. And if you ever go to the park or whatever, you'll see the moms and dads sitting around. There's always, just kids playing. But which we'll try to find an area where we can enjoy our coffee, we can enjoy our conversation, we can talk about the things that we want to get accomplished today. We can talk about the things that didn't go so well this week, and how are we going to fix those things this week? Because some things that are important to me may not really be important to her at that time. And so the great thing about a relationship is it's not about what I think is important. It's what the group thinks is important, or what she thinks is important. So we all have to, the biggest thing I notice is you have to have a compromise. You have to have a compromise of what you want to get done that week. You have to have a compromise of exactly what is the goal that you guys have set out for. So I know this weekend we have some stuff we have to get done as usual, but I have to make sure that my wife understands that, just like the story we refer to, that the internal love for her is never going to go away. It's never going to go away. It's going to get stronger. It's going to get better. And as we learn each other and enjoy each other and try to really understand each other better in our responsibilities in the house, we have to really respect each other. And you have to respect each other's time, and we have to respect each other's opinions. And it's pretty simple. I notice there's some people, their spouses, they really don't respect their opinions about things. And they could be totally right about everything, but some people's egos get in the way. As I look back at that story, and it's a beautiful story about the roses and how they died away. And as I look back, I really don't want my situation to die away like that. To be honest with you, if it was me, I would put all 11 artificial flowers in there, because I don't want to get down to the point where that's the last flower, that's the last hope that we're going to have. I want our love to last forever. I want it to be abundance. I just don't want it to be one flower. I want it to be 11, 12, 14, 15 flowers. I don't want it just to be one little flower that says, okay, I guess we're just hanging on by one flower. I guess we're just hanging on. You want your love, you want your passion, whatever you are really loving, you want to, water it every day. You want to make it better every day. And it takes work. It takes work. Any good relationship will take a lot of work. And you're going to have to work at it very, very, very carefully. And as you work at things, it's not going to be easy. This weekend, as the weekend approaches, I know I have certain things that I have to get done. There's certain things that I know I have to compromise on. I know there's certain things that she wants to do. But you have to understand each other, and you have to understand that the love for that person that you have is more important than some of these activities that you're doing. The activities that you're doing is just something to be doing. But is it helping your relationship? Anything that you can do to foster your relationship, to get better in your relationship, that's what it's all about. Spending time with that person. And the thing about it, a lot of the time that you want to spend with a person, it doesn't have to be at a Starbucks. It doesn't have to be at a 5-star restaurant. It could just be sitting in the backyard. It could just be watering the plants together. It could be planting a plant together. I saw this politician the other day, and she was on Instagram, and I'm thinking, what does she have to talk about today? And it was interesting that she really didn't have much to talk about. She was just saying, hi, everyone, and how's everything going? But then she changed it up a little bit because she was live on Instagram. And what was cool about it was she has never transplanted a plant before. And I'm like, well, so then what she did was she started transplanting this plant in front of all her Instagram live followers. And they were giving her hints. They were telling her how to take care of the plant. They were telling her how awesome she was. And then, you always got the haters and, well, you're killing the economy. You're going to kill this plant. You always got people like that. But what I thought was cool about it was the support that people were giving her for this plant. And the people were telling her, oh, you have to name the plant. The plant needs a name. You have to give the plant a name. And you have to do this for the plant. Oh, how much soil should I put in there? And so people were giving her all these hints and how to take care of this plant. And I'm thinking, it's a plant. It needs soil, it needs water, it needs sunlight. And I told her, and I told her, I texted a little message where I typed in something, because she probably, I don't know if she got it or whatever. And I said, another thing she needs is positive. Talk positive to that plant. And that's the one thing that we have to do, is talk positive to our partners. We have to talk positive to them. And if something negative comes up, still talk positive. Don't turn that time that you have with your partner into a negative situation. Make sure it is a positive situation. Make sure it's something that's going to help the relationship grow. And as you're growing with that person, and as that politician who was transplanting this plant, as I watched, I could tell that she really wanted this plant to do well. And she was encouraged that people were telling her how much soil to put in this plant. And I'm just thinking the same thing, how we move one situation to another situation. We move from one pot to another pot, and we put the good soil around it. We put the good soil around the plant, and we put water on it. We do all these things for this plant. And then 2 weeks later, we still have to have that same energy. We have to have, taking care of the plant, nurturing the plant, because that's what it's all about, is taking care of things. And if you don't take care of your things, just like the story, the guy who went on the business trip, I don't know what problems they had before or right now or whatever, but he had to give his wife a little reassurance that everything is fine, that everything that he was doing on his business trip, he was still thinking about her. He said his job requires him or her to go on a business trip, but while he's out there, he misses her, and he doesn't want her to ever think that he didn't love her. I love him, whoever is out there on the business trip. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.